Whew. All right.
All right. All right. Good to go. Ready to go?
Yeah. Sorry, I just read it.
That's it.
Badgers disappointment. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Welcome, sports fans. Thanks for tapping into some Untapped Keg Sports, part of the Believe Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts, RJ Zimmerman, here with the man, the myth, the legend. The fall belongs to Ball, Monte Ball. How you doing, big guy?
Tired, but not a bad tired. Just we're taking care of this podcast super early. Might be the earliest we've ever recorded.
No, before we went on vacation, we recorded one.
You're right. But I'm actually really good, man. Not like perfect, but I'm doing well. I'm feeling good, man. I'm excited. Love the direction that we're taking this podcast, taking both of our podcasts actually.
Right.
It's good, man. It's good.
It is.
How you doing?
I'm feeling hopeful.
Yeah.
Things have been good. I mean, making that big move, making that big change. Obviously, we've talked in the other podcasts how it leads to hope, and hope is a powerful emotion. But the Brewers are NL Central champions. They got the number 2 seed in the playoffs, which is crazy. It's exciting. I mean, that offense, I don't know how with that offense they got the number 2 seed, but they did. So hoping for big things in the playoffs. We'll see. And, just another Badger disappointment. So it par for the course.
Oh my goodness, man. Yeah, I mean,
let's jump into it. Badgers, Notre Dame. Man. And to say it's a disappointment is not putting enough emphasis onto just how that game went. 10 was it 10-10, 13-10 at halftime? I think it was 13-10 at halftime. Badgers were down. They lose 41-10.
That's my thing. I can't really remember exactly, which I can obviously check here. I remember the game, but the score at that moment, was it 13-10 going into the fourth?
No.
And okay. So, but they did, obviously Notre Dame did put up 31 unanswered points, correct? Yeah. I got to check that out, man. I want to know what the score was going into the fourth, because obviously the fourth quarter performance was atrocious to say the least. But obviously we'll get to the
10-3 going into halftime.
10-3 going into halftime.
Going into the fourth quarter was 10-10.
Yeah.
I thought it was not quite that there, but
they scored 31 points in the fourth quarter.
Final score 41-13.
That's worse to me than
That's right, because they drove down and took the lead. 13-10.
Yeah, dude. The way that they ended that game is, I mean, that's if you're a coach you have got to, and if you're a player as well on the team, you, and I'm sure they have. Obviously, we're speaking in hindsight here. We're speaking after the fact. They play tomorrow, so again, hopefully this week they did or currently are doing what I'm about to state here. I think if you are a player, if you are a coach, and you look at that tape, you watch the film, you watch the performance in the fourth quarter. The one thing I always say this, the one thing that you can't coach, the one thing that as a player you can't control is your effort. Your effort.
Yeah.
31 unanswered points in one quarter, RJ.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring up was this defense held up. Like, that's the thing. This defense did its
those
job.
are pick sixes. Yeah.
And
two
kick
pick
return.
sixes.
So they take the 13-10 lead in ensuing kickoff. They give up a 96-yard kick return for a touchdown. Now it's coming back to me. Now I remember this. And then it was just wheels off. As soon as that kick return happened, it was wheels off. This defense is so good. So good. And then you have this offense that is just, I mean, all aspects of this offense, I feel like, are poor. When you watch this, every facet of the offense is poor right now.
Every single
from the play calling to the execution to game plan, everything about it is lethargic. It's boring. It's vanilla. You're in the fourth game of the year, the biggest game of the past 3 years, probably. And you're going to come out with that kind of a game plan.
I want to know though, man, because here's the thing. We talk about, okay, so again, guys, talking Badger Notre Dame game. Badgers now are what, 1-2?
1-2.
1-2, yeah. When we rewatch the game, all the games actually this year, you know, again, we've already talked about it. Mertz is not fully to blame here. You can't give 100% blame to Mertz. The offensive line is very spotty. I don't understand really what's going on up front. They're rotating some players. It's not there's zero cohesion, in my opinion, when it comes to the offensive line, the quarterback, and even the running back. There's that entire backfield from the line of scrimmage back. And my thing is this, man, when it comes to play calling, do you think the coach's confidence, like their confidence is just flat out non-existent, mainly because they can't even build on plays? You know, some of the plays that we all are looking to see or wanting to see, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, you know, that especially third quarter, fourth quarter, that's when you come with your counters. That's when you come with your jet sweeps. That's when you come with a little bit of misdirection because fatigue has set in. And that's when you can build on top of plays from the first quarter and second quarter. Do you think that the play calling is vanilla because they are not producing on first and second down? They're not producing in the red zone, so they can't stack plays.
I mean, you might be right. I don't know how much it is, because how much do you need to stack a play to run a jet sweep, right? Like, we're not seeing it. We're utilizing your talent. Case in point, Isaac Guerrero. You're not getting him to the outside. You're not trying to get him open in space. Like, there's a little bit of a lack of creativity that has always been there. And then you see flashes of it and you're like, okay, where is this during the other big games where you need it? Right? Mm-hmm. It feels like they'll bring it out for one game and then they'll just forget everything that they learned from that and then go back to scratch and then have to build up to it again instead of just implementing it into a game plan. I mean, absolutely. You know, let's say you run a jet sweep and it gets stopped the first time. You run a second time, it gets stopped again because they're keying on it. Now you fake it and you can run that dive up the middle. Do you think that you have a quarterback that can't? Yes, he's had problems handing the ball off, but do you think he can't do the fake the jet sweep, hand it off to the running back? I mean, if that's the case, you have to make a change, because If you cannot trust your quarterback to hand the ball off, how are you? Exactly. How is he a starter? You have to trust him.
Exactly. I think that's a really good point, actually, man. That I haven't heard all year. Even the other folks I talk with and other podcasts we've hopped on, I have not heard that, and I think that's actually a really good point because Mertz and the center have, as we've all noticed, they have the center quarterback exchange mishaps. We've noticed a good amount of quarterback to running back exchange mishaps. So the mechanics that need to come into play that you need to utilize when it comes to faking the jet sweep and handing it off. There's a lot that goes into play there for a quarterback, turning your back to the defense, sort of like a naked, not a boot, but sort of the naked handoff where his entire back is facing the defense, fake the jet sweep, then do the handoff. Yeah, they probably don't have a lot of confidence in him to do that, actually. So that's the thing. When we talk about Coach Chris being the head coach and them demoting, I think demoting, such a negative connotation for with Rudy going from offensive coordinator to run game coordinator now. I believe it is Coach Chris now. I think it has now finally come out. He's the head coach and also wearing the hat of the OC. I don't think it's working, man. I don't think it's working.
How can you watch this offense and say it is?
Yeah, but here's the thing, too, is like people talk about, well, he was your offensive coordinator, Monte, for X amount of years when you guys landed Russell and when you guys had like Nick Toon. I think the personnel makes it a lot easier to be more creative with your play calling. Do you think he just doesn't have any confidence, man, in his guys?
I think that's obvious. Yeah. Otherwise, what's the excuse for being so vanilla? You can't be running the same 6 plays and then adding like a pull and a twist.
Dude, not even. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No. I'm so jacked for this conversation.
Right? Like you can't continue to do that and not get results, and then say you trust the players to make the plays out there.
Right.
Like that. What is the other logical explanation? Because we know that he can do this. Why isn't he? Is it complacency? Are we as fans putting too much expectations onto this program that's not ready yet? Obviously, it's not ready. Obviously.
Nope. My answer to that is no. I think the expectations are reasonable.
Yeah.
We weren't really as fans that mad losing to Penn State. We at the moment, obviously, any loss in the moment you're going to be a little frustrated, but after the fact, a couple days later, even right before the next game, that being Eastern Michigan, we had the opportunity to watch Penn State play other teams, and we were like, okay, this is a darn good Penn State team. So okay, that's hopefully we meet up with them again in Indianapolis. Well, then we really don't play. I mean, we play Eastern Michigan. You don't really learn much from Eastern Michigan, but then obviously we have a bye. Then we're coming back after a bye, playing a big game. When we talk about the Notre Dame Wisconsin game, the history of this game, and then you're playing in Soldier Field, the history of Soldier Field, and then you just talk about the former athletic director Barry Alvarez, Notre Dame connection, all of the above. You can't put on a show like that. Here's the thing: lose the game. That's not fine, but okay, that's the result. Lose the game. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't let a team score 31 answer points. So my question to you, RJ, man, is when it comes to this Wisconsin Badgers team, man, what's the floor? What's the floor this year? Because it seems like we're still digging.
You win 2 more games and that's it. I think that's the floor.
We still got Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska. I think is still going to be troublesome, possibly. Minnesota, they don't have their running back, but still, that's still a darn good coach over there. So the floor, 2 more games.
I mean, maybe they can't even win 2 more games, but they better, right? But that's not bowl eligible.
Here's the thing, they should, because Michigan always, you're 100% right. That's was definitely not. Yeah. So I think, I I like that take. The floor is not being bowl eligible, and that's possible, man.
I don't.
That's
the way
possible.
that this offense is right now, who do you have faith in? Like,
That's the thing. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and clown on Mertz anymore because we just
No.
It is what it is
Right.
with him. Although the turnovers, come on, man, come on,
Come on, man.
That's it. Like that's all we got. So I'm not gonna sit there and clown on him. But I am disappointed in this offensive line. I'm disappointed in the run game. Like, period.
Yeah.
But this defense is absolutely legit. So this defense, the thing is, the pressure is on this defense to give up 14 points or less. That's it. And then make a turnover. Get your offense a short field. Like, that's how you're going to win a game.
Dude, they're lights out.
I mean, they did it against a really good offense in Notre Dame. You know, they stopped them. Their
run defense.
10 points.
10 points. Right. 10 points. And their run defense, too. I think all three teams. You obviously, you got Eastern Michigan in there, but I think that what combined, I don't even think the running backs have 100 yards. Like, I think there hasn't been 100 yards yet on this defense. Maybe not. I got to check that.
No, it's the number one rush defense in the country.
Yeah. I mean, this defense is Jimmy Leonard, man. It's Jimmy Leonard. We talk about all the time, RJ, his halftime adjustments, his game adjustments. I mean,
game
you can
plan
tell.
Is always like on point. It's
night and day difference, and that's what worries me, man. Because defense wins championships, but you sometimes the offense obviously has to play a little better than they're doing now, and it's just the lack of confidence, I think. And if I'm a defensive player, I wouldn't have much confidence in this offense right now either. Because again, we're not asking for much. That being the fans or even the coach too. Can we do it? Can we perfect a handoff?
maybe
we're worried about that.
Maybe by week 8.
We're worried about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's October. They're 1 and 2.
Man.
I mean, we knew that this was going to be a tough stretch, right? In the schedule. Like, this was going to be a tough stretch.
But with Michigan's always beating their chest. So they got Michigan tomorrow. Michigan's always, every single year this happens. Michigan State thinks to the top of the top. They're beating their chest coming into Camp Randall, and they get smacked.
Well,
Badgers are favored by 7
against Michigan. Yeah. Michigan is they're the 14th team in the country.
No, the Badgers are favored.
How? After watching that game, how can you favor the Badgers?
Michigan hasn't played anybody. Michigan's played Rutgers. Michigan has played. Hold on, let me pull it up. They really do have not played anybody. Here, let me pull this up real quick just to make sure.
I don't know if this Wisconsin team can beat Rutgers.
So, dude, Michigan has played Western Michigan, Washington, Northern Illinois, Rutgers.
But they played Northern Illinois.
That's good MAC school. Absolutely. That's a good program. That is a good program. So, let me pull this up real quick. Wisconsin, Michigan. Wisconsin's favored. Indeed. 2.5 points.
I'm laying the money, man.
2.5 points. And that's the thing, man. Then we can. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You laying the money,
I'm taking that. I haven't bet all year. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I think too, it's we don't know. But before we move on to our other topics, just to kind of end this Notre Dame Wisconsin game. When you watch that offensive team, man, that offensive side of the ball, somebody's got to step up. That's really what it is. Somebody's got to step up. It has to start on the line of scrimmage. A lineman, all linemen. Somebody's got to step up and say, we can't be putting this. We can't put these type of performances on tape. We can't. That's gonna hurt with recruiting. That's gonna hurt big time. And there just needs to be more more cohesion with the plays. Yeah, you might not have the playmakers that you expected, that you thought that you would have. And I'm talking to Coach Chris. I'm talking to his alter ego, that being the OC, all the above. But you still, at the end of the day, you're still the coach. At the end of the day, it's still you're getting paid to make it happen. Period. Make it happen. Figure something out. Be even more creative with your plays. Utilize their skill sets. Get them in the best positions possible to make plays. This is when coaching comes into play. Right now, this is when coaching comes into play. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't want to beat a dead horse.
What do you expect from Saturday?
Yeah. I do think the Badgers are going to come out with a win, because after watching Michigan, so Michigan, they're okay. They're okay. They're not great, but they're okay. They have a really good defense, by the way.
That's what I was going to say. Their defense is always solid. They always have playmakers on the defensive side of the ball.
They have potentially a first rounder on that D line and that safety back there too. Really good. Really, really good players. Really good. But that offense is not that great. Their offense, they have a decent running back, but again, our run defense is number one in the country. So I do believe that this team is going to be a very low scoring game. But yeah, we should win, because that defense is going to shut Michigan down. Yeah. But I think it's going to be very close. I think that 2.5 point mark is good. What are your thoughts, man?
24-10.
Who you got?
Michigan. I mean, I just don't see this offense moving the ball. And I see this defense trying to be perfect and create something and beat them on top. Just like I said against Notre Dame, and it almost came out that way. But it's just like, I got no faith. I got no faith in this offense, period. Point blank. From the play calling down to the center quarterback exchange. I got no faith in anything. I used to have faith in, the receivers. You get the ball in their hands, they might be able to make something happen. I just don't anymore.
It's when the play calling, man, and real quick, watching that Notre Dame game, I even noticed some formations that he didn't switch up. He ran a play out of the same formation like 4 times in the first half, and came back in the third quarter and fourth quarter with the same exact formation and ran the same exact play. I'm watching it live. Watching it live. There were other folks with me watching it live, and we all noticed that.
Yeah.
Same formation.
Maybe it is that this offense is just you can't trust the players, but I don't know. If you don't give them, if you show them that, then they're just not, is going to be the more of the same. If you show that you don't trust your players because you keep running this, it is going to be more of the same. Like, make it fun, make it, I don't know. I
hear you, man.
I think we've prattled on about that long enough, because we've been beating that same horse for 3 weeks. We honestly have been beating it since last year. So,
true. Yeah.
I think that's what's most disappointing. Like, if this was a 1-year thing and not like a 5-year thing, I don't think you and I would be so down. But
no.
Like, we've been saying this since Jonathan Taylor was a freshman. So it's pretty much the same thing. Let's move on to some good football and talk about how hot the Denver Broncos are right now. How real are they?
That's up for debate, and that's they play the Ravens this upcoming weekend, and I do believe that they're going to win. I do. I really do think they're going to win. But let's be honest, the Broncos have played the Giants, the Jaguars, and the Jets. Haven't really played any teams. But again, they are doing what they're expected to do. Because players obviously don't choose a schedule.
Yeah.
So 3-0 going into the Ravens. Hopefully going to come out 4-0, but it's going to be a battle, man. It's going to be a battle. How real are they? No one knows yet. No one knows. But what we do know is that Teddy Bridgewater does a great job protecting the football. Teddy Bridgewater does a great job of leading that offense. Teddy Bridgewater does a great job of making plays out of nothing.
Yeah.
And his decision making when he is making plays out of nothing, it's not like he's chucking it deep across his body. You know, he's making great throws while he's scrambling, while he's stiff arming players off of him and still throwing the football. So the things that we do know, yeah, Melvin Gordon's playing some good football. Javonte Williams back there running as well, running very strong. Love that kid. Love the way he runs the ball. Obviously, defense is flying around. Von Miller's feeling extremely good.
He looks healthy. Looks good. 100% healthy.
Absolutely. Have the shell in the back with Simmons in them. They're flying around. So here's the thing: we know the defense. We know the defense is there to play. Yeah, they got Lamar Jackson. You most definitely have to prep against that guy right there. But Denver's run defense, historically speaking, and when I say historically, I just say within the last 10 years, does a very, very good job. Very, very good job. And a lot of that is obviously Von Miller, Shelby Harris, etc. So who knows, man? I mean, I don't want to get too long with it on the Broncos because, again, they have not played much. They have not played. They've technically played the three worst teams in the NFL. Well, now we're getting into some real football.
I mean, you can only beat what's put in front of you. So I hate when people use the strength of schedule thing, especially NFL wise, because you don't schedule NFL. And every NFL team is better. Can beat you. Yeah. Right? Every NFL team is better than we give them credit for.
Yeah. Except the Jets.
Well, I was going to say the Jaguars.
So it's gonna be. So who knows, man? I'm still obviously Broncos at my heart. I love watching the Broncos. I'm gonna watch the game. But I do think they're gonna come out with the win, man. But I really want to get into this Packers talk, man. That's what I really want to get into.
Let's transition to the Packers now. 2-1.
Forget the Broncos.
You know, looking in the rearview mirror and seeing that Saints game seems so far away, especially the people talking about is Aaron Rodgers, is his heart in it, right? It's like. You watch him on the sidelines. It's like, come on. You watch him in that first game. He was mad. Like,
why are these headlines? Why are these headlines?
It's unbelievable.
Why are these headlines? Leave the man alone.
You know, he had cornflakes instead of frosted flakes. So people are like, I just don't think his heart's in it.
Gosh. Right? How are you saying you don't think his heart? How do you know if his heart's in it or not? How do you
listen? I'm always in the camp that I put my stock behind Aaron Rodgers and this team.
Yeah.
Getting back on track, right? I still don't think the run game looks 100%. That pass game looked perfectly fine for the most part. Rodgers missed a couple throws that he had. It is what it is. You know, they're still trying to get their feet under them game speed. I never really thought this until this year that preseason game speed is actually necessary to get you up and ready to go, because that was the difference. Their conditioning was poor in that New Orleans game, but then you go out to San Francisco, you dominate the first half like you did. And then you played really well in that second half. Then obviously the 37-second drive, like
right.
They almost gave it up, but they didn't. And that's the key, is they didn't. So hopefully they can continue to build on it. Their defense has obviously figured something out that they're a little bit better. Although I knew that second half there were gonna be adjustments made on the offensive side of the ball that the defense was not gonna be able to match. And those adjustments were going to be keep the ball away from Jair Alexander to the other side of the field. And that's exactly what they did. I don't know. I don't know what this team is, honestly.
Right.
They're a playoff team. That's all I know. But I don't know if they're a Super Bowl contender yet. They got the Steelers this week at home. Mm-hmm. We'll see how that goes.
It'll be a different Steelers team, though.
And that's the thing. Different. It's the Steelers can be had right now.
Yeah. That offense is not that good at all.
Mike Tomlin is a really good coach, and I do not bet against Mike Tomlin ever when it comes to getting a team ready. And the reason that the offense struggled so bad against the Saints, you stop the run, lose your ability to have your play action pass, lose some of your gadgets that you do, some of your motions. We'll see how it goes. And they lost the MVS, probably is not going to play this week. The wide receiver who's a deep threat. So we'll see if Lazard or somebody else can step up a little bit. MVS has been playing really well. Just in his route running, everything, he's looked really good. So we'll see who can step up there. But it always seems like they have somebody steps up when you have Aaron Rodgers chucking the ball. And, he has been good. Obviously, he's left a few throws on the field every single game. So eventually...
That's every quarterback.
Right. But eventually, it's going to be a lot less than what it is. And Devontae Adams looks ready to feast every single week, too. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
If I have questions, if you stop this run completely, how much this offense can move the ball, because the offense is so predicated on running the ball, which is so different from the Mike McCarthy years. We're still not used to seeing it as Packer fans. This is going to be a decent test because the Steelers have a really good run stopping.
Oh yeah. And
then the defense. I really want to see this defense get after the quarterback. I want to see him rattle. The interception that Jair Alexander had last week reminded me of a Charles Woodson type play. So it seems like Alexander's understanding of offenses, quarterbacks. He's going to be making some plays that are unreal, and that's all they have back there right now. I've seen nothing from Amos and Savage, who I expected to be one of the best safety combos in the league. Rashawn Gary, he gets pressures, but not to the same frequency that Zadarius Smith does. So I'm very disappointed in that. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Kenny Clark is playing really well in the middle. It seems like the middle of the defensive line is playing really well, and the outside is just kind of there. So I hope to see, that continue, obviously. But we'll see what the defense kind of makes for adjustments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think obviously it was a great performance from Aaron Rodgers, from the Packers team, kind of rallying together and then shutting up a lot of people. And leaving 37 seconds on the clock is not a smart move. Was definitely not a smart move for Aaron Rodgers,
and
giving him that much time.
Can we talk about Devontae Adams taking that hit to the head? And then, did you see the helmet-to-helmet hit?
I didn't see it, but I know that the questions about the concussion protocol.
It's like, he said after the game that it was not his head, it was his chest. He couldn't catch his breath. And it did look like that maybe he took most of the hit to the chest, but I mean, the dude dove and led with his head. So where he hit him, I don't know. It seems like Devontae Adams takes a lot of hits to the head that the league wants out of the game, but none of it gets called. And it's just frustrating.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking to myself. I did see that hit. Actually, okay. I'm watching it right now. I did see that hit. Yeah, there's no way I'd missed that hit because it was all over TV.
Right. And so it's like, that's the hit you want out of the game. And there were questionable pass interference calls on both sides of the ball. Yeah. Like some of those 49ers pass interference calls, I think there were one for sure was, I don't know, maybe two of them were. Oh, yeah, the one on Tunyon. So there were two of them that were for sure pass interferences, and the rest were kind of ticky-tack. Same with on the other side of the ball too, but you want that out of the game. And then Jair Alexander comes in on a blitz. Jimmy Garoppolo throws the ball in mid-lunge, and Jair Alexander just kind of forearms him in the chest, and they call roughing the passer. I mean, he didn't even come close to hitting him in the head. And it's like, what are we doing as a football product? What are you doing? What is your end game? Because what's going on right now, the refs are impacting the game way more than they should be. And especially with this roughing the passer, you need to figure out what roughing the passer actually is.
Yep.
Because that's going to lead, it already has led to so many big drive continuations that have led to points, because that led to a first down on a third down that then they scored on. And that wouldn't have happened had they not thrown that flag. So that's my question to the league. What is a roughing the passer? And I guess what is targeting? What are the hits that you want out of the game? Because it needs to happen from a health standpoint. You want those hits out of the game. Throw a flag every single time you see somebody lunge at somebody with you leading with their head. Period. Whether they hit them in the head or not. If you're leading with the head, it's a flag. That's how you get it out of the game.
Yeah, I think it's. One thing that I have noticed is the when we talk about the entire NFL, all the games. Obviously, I haven't watched every single game, but the refs are impacting the game right now, the outcome of games, and then also they're just impacting the way that players on defense are playing.
How do you play defense?
What can these players do? Yeah, an obvious helmet to helmet to a defenseless receiver. Yeah, that's a flag. That's a flag every single day. You know that. Everyone knows that. But when it comes to roughing the passer, when it comes to these other calls, it's like, wait, you guys, what do you expect for these defensive players to do? This is a violent game. They are running at full speed. Yeah, they have great reaction times, but you have to understand how. If I see the quarterback and the quarterback still has the football, you understand how jacked these players get when they see that and they have an open lane to the quarterback.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, you get paid for sacks. So, I think something really needs to happen. Something really needs to happen. Goodell, whoever it is who's in control of the refs organ, whatever it's called, really need to have a conversation with these refs. And I'm an offensive guy, and I feel bad for the defensive players. Tom Brady even said something similar, where it's like, what do you guys expect for these defensive players to do when they're flying around at full speed, real live time? Well, can't keep happening. This can't keep happening.
You're gonna focus on taunting.
That's
what gets me. Like, something that wasn't a problem last year.
It wasn't a problem at all,
except for these fragile white men up in the box who have so much money they're paying for all this, right? Like, that's the only people that care about the taunting.
Yeah, fans love that stuff. I mean,
come on, it's ridiculous.
How do you expect for guys? These are grown men with testosterone's off the chart, playing an extremely violent game. How do you expect for them not, especially the running back? I can't even remember off the top of my head. This dude broke like 10 tackles.
Oh, yeah. In the preseason?
Yeah, broke like 10 tackles, stood up, and was, just jacking himself up, getting hype. And they threw a flag. What do you want him to do?
Right.
Stand up after breaking 10 tackles, having an unbelievable run, and just stand straight up and be like, here you go, ref. I go back to the huddle now. It's like,
yes, sir.
Are they supposed to be why do you expect for these players not to have emotion?
I don't get it.
Like, this is a very emotional game.
And that's what you want to see. You want to see emotions, right? You want to see your favorite team play with passion.
Absolutely. The refs are trash. I'm just going to say it. Flat out trash. It's bad. It's terrible. Amend it, do something.
It starts at the league level, right? Like, that's what you have, like, you're sending mixed messages. So what are they supposed to focus on? They're not focusing on the play anymore. They're focusing on what they are supposed to be eliminating from the game or whatever.
Receiver, the DBs you can't even stare too long at a receiver or it's pass interference.
Man, so I get worried every single time Jair Alexander breaks up a pass, because listen, that guy gets fiery. And I don't want to squanch that, right? I don't want to squelch that. I want him to be fiery. I want him to be, no, you don't come this way. I'm too good, right?
Yeah.
But
Got to be that way.
Eventually he's going to get one, and it's going to be like, that's just business. Price of doing business this year. And I hope that they change it. But then you have the person who led the taunting, wanting to get taunting out of the game, right? And the Giants owner, John Mara, comes out of his box and just kicks those garbage cans over. Like, you want taunting out of the game, but you can't even handle it yourself. Like, come on.
Yeah. You can't handle your own emotions.
That you don't even control. You just I understand being a fan, right? I mean, I'm a huge fan. I get it. But you are the one who controlled this rule, and you can't even handle it. You got to take it out on some defenseless garbage cans.
That's what I'm saying, though, man. You expect for these players to not play with any emotion. It's like, why would that be an issue? I need someone to explain to me. I need for someone to sit down and explain to me and say, to my question, which is, what is wrong with a player getting jacked up, getting hyped live during the game, right after a run, right after a catch? Obviously, yeah, not taunting at the player, not touching the other player, not even putting his finger in the other player's face. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with it?
I don't know.
Who was the person who said, you know what? I object. I kind of want to get rid of that. Well, we know who that person is.
Yeah, it sounds like John Mara, because his team has been terrible since they won a Super Bowl. So he's sick of being made fun of. His team being made fun of. And he gets to say his team because he is the majority owner.
Mm-hmm. But you're right, though, man. It's that wouldn't be as bad. This whole trying to get rid of taunting wouldn't be as bad if they weren't, or excuse me, no. Let me say this. The roughing the passer calls would not be as bad if they weren't so gung-ho, just firing straight at this whole taunting aspect. Like, it wouldn't be that bad. It's like, wait, you're focused on the wrong thing here.
Yeah.
Pass interference is 15 yards. That's a big deal. Roughing the passer.
As well, I was gonna say, like, pass interference is spot of the foul, so you better be.
It's right. And then roughing exactly. So yeah, focusing on the wrong stuff, and that's just what throws off a lot of fans. The whole no fun league. Why are you guys focused on that stuff?
Just wait till the Fan Control Football League comes back, man.
Right.
Take the league by storm. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Google Fan Control Football League. We're going to have some fun with it again this year. So,
what do you see with the Packers, though? How do you see this game ending?
It's going to be close. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be close like the last game. Even if the Packers are up big at half, I see them get this defense is atrocious. I mean, yeah, in every sense of the word, it's atrocious. I like what I'm seeing out of Eric Stokes. I don't know what Shannon Sullivan's doing. Jair Alexander's obviously a ball hawk. I don't think the scheme knows what they want to do with the safeties. It just the safety play has been inconsistent. It's been, and you have two good safeties is why I'm so confused with what's been going on. They do make plays, but it's like it's inconsistent, and it's like the communication they lose coverage a lot. Something's wrong. They need to simplify it. Obviously, they're trying to do too much. Yeah. And it's creating a lot of confusion, or you just don't have the players that you thought you had. So I see the game being really close. You know, honestly, I could see almost the exact same score, like, 27, 28 to 30, right? Like, I see it within a field goal. So, nice. And that at that point, it can go either way. Within a field goal can go either way. Obviously, I'm going to say the Packers are going to win, but it's going to have to be like Alan Lazard, Robert Tonyan, kind of a big game, because I think Adams is going to get his, but I don't see him having 200 yards receiving. So
right. Because they're gonna be probably a high cloud over top of him. Yeah, probably some man too.
That's what
Absolutely.
I could really see them doing that and taking him out of the game. And then how are you going to be able to get the run game going, which is a possibility when you have Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. But the way that this run defense plays, I don't know if you'll be able to. So
yeah, it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game. But yeah,
I need to shout out to Yosh Ninjman last week because he played left tackle. The Packers starting 2 left tackles were out. Comes in, didn't give up a single pressure blocking Nick Bosa all night. 1-on-1. I mean, dude just
That's
balled
impressive.
out. So hopefully he continues it. That was awesome. And I just wanted to give him a quick shout out. So one thing that we talked about on this podcast a lot when it comes to Major League Baseball is the how much Major League Baseball dislikes new fans and dislikes fans being able to watch the games they want to watch. Why don't you walk me through your experience trying to find a Cardinals game in St. Louis?
Dude, it's extremely disappointed, man, because it's frustrating. It's annoying. This is very annoying. Right. So I'm back in St. Louis, right, visiting my grandmother. My grandmother's a huge baseball fan, huge Cardinals fan, and we were just gonna watch the game, of course. Guys, we're in St. Louis. We are in St. Louis. The Cardinals, they are the home team for St. Louis. The Cardinals are playing a game. I think it was against the Brewers, right?
Yep.
Was it or no? Against the Brewers. So they're playing.
No, it's Cubs.
Cubs. Same difference. They're playing in the NL Central team in the end. They're playing I
might be lying now. I can't remember.
I think you're right.
I know you are right. It was the Brewers because I wanted to watch that game too.
Oh, was it the Brewers? Okay, yep. Same difference. Still playing a team in their division. A team in their. It's important. Very, very important. This is St. Louis. This is a team that is literally 30 miles from my grandmother's home. Couldn't find the game. Struggled to find the game for like 35 minutes until I had to then just tweet out, how am I going to watch this game? Where can I watch this game? And folks told me that it was on YouTube. I don't understand that's easy access, of course.
And that's the thing. YouTube, this is supposed to be like the easy game to watch, right? This is MLB doing the right thing and making a big matchup free to watch to everybody. But the marketing is terrible.
Terrible, especially the Cardinals too. This is a team that was on fire. Yeah, the Brewers broke their 17 game trying to go for 18 game win streak, but at this time they were 14 games win streak, 15 game win streak.
That was their 10th or 11th win.
10th. So this team is on fire, shooting for that wild card game. Why can't I find this game? And this was one that was on YouTube. I think the day before, or maybe 2 days before, I still struggled with finding the game, and I had to then just create an account on a platform, and then obviously try to search for the game there. But again, this goes back to what RJ and I we talked about. Man, why? It's a sport. It's the Cardinals are an amazing franchise. Have fans all across the planet, the country. Come on. Why can't I find the game? Why my home team?
Why does Major League Baseball hate fans?
That is the most frustrating thing. You have no idea how upset I was because I'm like,
I understand because I haven't watched a single Brewer game all year. Like, that is not okay. It is not okay that I cannot watch the Brewers when every other year I could, and now a new station buys it, and they basically are like, you can only watch it using these 2 services because we're not going to provide it to any others. And it's like, what? Why can someone in Wisconsin not watch a baseball game? I mean, come on.
It's pay-per-view. It's pay-per-view now. That's in my opinion, that's the direction that it's going to continue to go.
They need to figure it out
to watch.
Because this sport is not going to stay as popular as it is, and it already is going down. But I mean, it's just it's annoying and it's frustrating. And honestly,
why are the players saying
they're
something?
Pay gating? I don't even know if they realize it's as big an issue as it is.
Pay gating. Please continue.
You know, they're putting gates up to watch this so that you have to pay to watch it. So now you basically have to be middle class to watch a baseball game, middle class or above. If you are lower class, you cannot afford to watch any game on TV. And who listens to radio nowadays? Nobody. I will honestly physically try and find Bob Uecker, but that's because it's Bob Uecker. When it's not Bob Uecker anymore, am I going to try to listen to the radio broadcast? Probably not. I'm probably just going to watch on my phone to see how it's going. And I can't even tell if the pitcher's doing well, the hitters are doing well. I can't see anything. Like, is the outfield and the defense playing decent? Like, you don't know. You don't know when you're just watching that app and you're seeing the balls come in. So I don't know why Major League Baseball just can't figure out how to let fans watch, but they need to.
If I'm currently right now, obviously living in Wisconsin, I should not have to struggle to watch a Brewer game.
Right.
Period. End of discussion. That's a wrap. That's done with. I'm living in Wisconsin. I can watch every single Packers game, just about. Let's say like about 97% of the games.
Yeah, 99% or 100% of the games you can watch for free.
Exactly. Right? Bucks. I can watch just about every single Bucks game. No questions asked. Easy to find. Brewers. Because here's the thing, guys. We're not talking lacrosse. And here, I'm not making any jokes to lacrosse folks who play lacrosse or anything like that, or golf. You would just expect for those to be difficult to find because those are fan bases. Those are sports that are still growing, still on the climb. But yeah, baseball is literally America's sport, but let's be honest, that is historically speaking is the game. Why can't I watch my home team? And when I say my home team, I'm just saying like wherever I'm located, why can't I watch that home team for free? That's extremely distasteful. It really is. No. First off, you want me to pay those high ticket prices and then pay for expensive food at the concourse of these stadiums. But now you're making it difficult to watch the games because you have to pay money to watch, even if you're at home. It's going to be difficult for Major League Baseball to continue to grow. It's going to be difficult.
And the thing is, we're not talking like, $10 a month, $5 a month. Like we're talking like $50 a month.
Oh yeah.
For a cable package that includes the channel you need to watch baseball. That's a lot of money. Think of all the Starbucks you could get for $50 a month. I mean, come on.
Do you think that is, man, because of these contracts, man? I mean, these players are getting massive deals.
I mean, it's part of it is the how baseball teams make their money are their network deals. So like that is how the teams really make a lot of their money. But Major League Baseball has an issue that is greater than that. So if you want to be more popular, which it feels like Major League Baseball does not, then this is a problem you take care of. But otherwise, status quo, keep going with where you're going. So,
because I think the point that you made the last time was so brilliant, where it's like I'm a grown man. I'm starting to get into the game of baseball, but I'm not gonna play the game of baseball. I'm not aspiring to be in the league of baseball. I'm 30. But when we talk about the youth, we talk about 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds. It's like I remember watching the game of football and wanting to play in the NFL because I was watching it. I was talking about it. I got to see it. A lot of these kids aren't seeing it, man. And that's unfortunate.
I mean,
and that's unfortunate.
We've had this discussion for a few years with Mike Trout, best player in baseball.
Exactly.
How many people know that? Not many. And not many seen him play. So they don't even understand why. Like this dude is on another level. Like if he was playing with that jacked baseball that they were playing with, back in the day, like his numbers would be just freakish. And, or, I mean, they were worse pitchers at that time too. Like a lot of pitchers and with specializations, it's gone the pitcher's way and away from the defense. But I want baseball to do better for themselves more than baseball wants to do better. So that's what's frustrating.
Absolutely.
So, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about real quick the Cardinals' 17-game winning streak.
Yeah.
1.3% chance of making the playoffs at the start of August. Clinched the other day. While the second wild card, they'll probably play the Dodgers, or maybe they'll play the Giants. But more than likely, it's the Dodgers. How much fun was that as a fan to watch?
That's a lot of
for me.
That's a lot of fun, man. And again, I'm going to be honest here. I'm not the number one baseball fan. We've talked about this before. I'm really starting to really get into the game because I'm understanding it more. And again, I understood the game of baseball, but now I'm understanding the tactics. I'm understanding the chess match that goes on because I've been playing the video game and I'm like, oh, I guess this is what the managers have to do. Oh, I guess this is what the pitcher has to do and the catcher. So I'm loving that stuff. It's exciting. It's really, really exciting because, I'm a Cardinals fan. Watching the team rally together like that and play some exciting baseball, just crushing it. O'Neal, just slugger, just nailing them. I mean, this is some pretty awesome stuff, especially for the city and for fans who are watching the game, youth watching the game. We just need to maybe write a letter, get a petition or something, get some of these Major League Baseball players to help us out when it comes to watching the game.
Yeah.
So it's exciting, man. I'm hopeful. I'm most definitely hopeful. I hope they keep this thing going, and we'll see. We'll see. We will see.
So we are Untapped Keg Sports. Find us at Untapped Keg everywhere. Every Friday, podcast comes out on your podcast platform of choice. Find us at YouTube, Untapped Keg. You can check out our Sunday show about sobriety and mental health, talking about mine and Monsa's sobriety journeys, mental health. Indeed. around life. Where can they find you, Mons?
Yeah, you guys can find me at Monteball28 on Twitter, Monteball on Instagram, Untapped Keg pages as well. We got some exciting guests coming up, guys. So we're excited. We're almost definitely excited. So we appreciate you guys tuning in, and please keep tuning in. Send us questions, topics, what have you, and we'll get back to you. Where can they find you, Arjun?
You can find me at It's Trickster, ITZ. The I is a 1 in Trickster. And Untapped Keg everywhere. Look us up. Join us for Sunday. We're going to have Amelie back. Amelie of the Sea. Anybody who was there for the first one is going to enjoy this one. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this one. I've just been jacked the entire time. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Please join us on Sunday morning at 10 Eastern Time, 9 Central. And you'll be in for a treat. You will be in for some chicken noodle soup for your soul. And you're going to have a warm feeling for sure. So thank you for joining us. Part of the Believe Podcast Network, Untapped Keg Sports. Like, subscribe, share it. Thank you so much.